round 3 today. I've been doing this on YouTube. This is, I think, day 3, where Matt Zernzak of The Push is just like, hey, you gotta do something to build pressure. So I'm just recording my first 3 rounds of shooting. Each change is gonna post it up to YouTube. Not like anyone's gonna watch it, but what it does is it makes me think about my shot, because my rule is if I shoot it, I show it. And anyway, it's good. Builds in a little bit of pressure. It's like having someone watch me, and I find I'm a little bit more patient with my shots. If there's no video on, or before, I record a lot of my shots, but I never posted them anywhere. It's just for myself. You know, I could have this and that. Now I'm really in the game. So, little tip out there. Okay, let's take a look. Shooting is probably 12, 13, 14 yards, something like that. All right. This arrow one. I didn't feel like when I was going in to shoot that, do the release, that I had a good eye on there. What I'm trying to work through is soft eyes, so I'm not looking at the target. I hit my anchor, I check my string blur, I line my string blur up against the riser. This is how I like to do it. It's right on the riser, string blur on the riser. And then I check to make sure I've transferred into my back. I can feel that based on the shoulder blades. And then I take a soft look to see where the tip of the arrow is. And for 4 under, I'm putting it 4 tabs down, I put it right here. And then what I try to do, since I don't have a mechanical trigger, is I take my pinky off the front as a Gerald Turner trick. Take the pinky off the front so the safety is off. And then I just look at where I'm shooting and just say in my brain, just pull, just pull, 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 pull. Kind of a gentle command rather than like pull, pull, pull. And so anyway, this is, again, this new rebuilt everything. I'm now rebuilding my aiming process. So you could see this one, I shot too fast. These two, pretty damn good. And the only thing is that I didn't feel on those two that my eye was perfectly focused on where I wanted to shoot. It was more focused on the arrow and where it was pointed to rather than the point on the target. And just like in compound, compound I'm much more confident when I just look at that target. That the arrow float is going like this. I have no concerns whatsoever. I don't time it. I'm a back tension guy. I know a lot of people say, oh, just when I hunt, I don't do back tension. I like to punch the trigger or whatnot, because in a hunting situation, you don't have this. I've never come across that. I've never come across a situation that I had to switch it up from back tension. It's just how I shoot, and I have no issue doing it in a high pressure situation, a quick timing situation, or a slow timing situation. So on the compound, that's where I'm at. But here, this is the final shot of the whole session. This one I'm most proud of. See, it's right there in the center of the target. And that was one where I took my safety off by moving my pinky, and I just looked exactly at where I wanted that arrow to go. Not generally exactly. And in my mind, I was just like, gently pull, gently pull. And to me, it felt like a great release, and my eye just stayed on that spot, and I just saw, it was like the arrow was on a string, and it just went exactly to where I was hoping it would go, where I was aiming for it to go, and where I meant for it to go, and it worked out. So I'm super happy with that last arrow, especially after a week of just really having to rebuild and rethink things. I've changed every single piece of my form over the last 2 weeks. Some of these changes are small. It's not like you're gonna see an old piece of footage and see drastic changes, but little subtle changes. Especially the biggest change is how I draw. I put my elbow out. I have this kind of looping draw. I pull my elbow. It's my mental instruction is run my elbow across the table. So it's on a plane. Run my elbow across the table. I hit my anchor. I use this tooth, and I use my cheekbone. I have a couple of different points where I can feel if I'm on anchor. Transfer the hold, and then once I'm in transferred hold and I can feel that, that's when I peek down. I see roughly where the tip of the arrow is. I'm looking at the arrow point. I'm not focusing too much on the target. Once I'm comfortable, I'm like, okay, it's go time. I take my pinky off, safety off, and that's when I zone in. And I have 2 to 3 seconds to really zone in exactly where I want it to go. And I just start pulling and let the rest take care of itself. It's easier to say it than to do it, and to do it consistently. But on that last arrow, after some really rough weeks where once you start to change the beginning and there's changes all throughout, it just really messes with the mind, and you have to work it through and get used to it. But I feel like I'm a bit on the other side. It's also nice with the experience of being having shot for trad for 3.5 years, that I know I get to the other side. I can work my way through. After 6 months of shooting, when you go through a lull like this, you're like, I'm permanently broken. But now I always know I can get through. It just has to be a back to basics and a rebuilding and a reorientation. But this time, I think it's stronger than ever. So anyway, that's great. I keep going. I always go back to a mix between Rod Jenkins, Tom Clum as my base. But I love adding into that Jake Kametsky, who is he's a great instructor, and he'll teach similar things, but the analogies that he uses or the tips that he uses is also great. So Ron Jenkins is my bass. After Rod, I got introduced to Tom Clem through the online course. I've been to the shop many times. And then building off of that, I would say Joel Turner, I'm pumped for his new course, Shot IQ. But then lastly is like how Jay Kaminsky talks about his archery. So I would head over, if you're looking to pick it up and you've listened to 10 minutes of me rambling on here and watching me shoot, I would go to the Push Archery of Knowledge and subscribe to a few courses. They're worth every penny. And you get it for life. It's like the best deal on earth. I love these courses. They're like courses that follow me around. The tuning course is just unbelievable. I've watched it so many different times, not necessarily the whole thing. I'll dive in there. I'm like, God, I can't figure this out. I go and jump in there. I just love the tuning course. I love all their courses. And it's just always, I think, in a lot of things, it's always come back to the beginner's mind, always come back to the beginning of the fundamentals. The fundamentals is where it's all built from. And the fundamentals help your mental game. Well, that's all for today. You got 3 rounds of 4 arrows at, say, 14 yards with my Hoyt Satori, working on the mental game. Really happy with my physical form, but working on the mental game, and loving the tune of these arrows, which I just completed yesterday. See you tomorrow.